Um, Before I even go into what I learned and different principles and things like that for us to take away, uh, if you guys have never been to Los Angeles, or if you've never been to one of our events, I'm pretty sure Rhonda can attest to it. There's nothing like no, you're all good. There's nothing like a event in Southern California. The reason I say there's nothing like an event in Southern California, Herbalife was started literally on Beverly Hills Boulevard. So to find and come to a region or the region that started everything, that's probably, if you ever have, and I'm not telling anybody what to do, I just know I see people do it all the time. But if you ever have a notion to commit to actually coming to the mothership of where Herbalife started, they always send us, for whatever reason, the best trainers in the world. Like today, we always have Sunday for a corporate event. Dennis Dowdell, I'm not sure if any of you know who Dennis Dowdell is, but Dennis Dowdell has been in the company 35 years. He's one of the older members. He has Chairman's Club, Founder Circles members. He has about 600 tab team members in his organization. And he makes, close to $1 million, probably over $1 million a year easily. Well, actually, I think I remember him saying that extravaganza, he makes $1 million per 6 months. So that's kind of crazy. But we get that kind of leadership there. We have Mary Holloway, Chairman's Club member, Mary Holloway. And if you don't know what a Chairman's Club is, a Chairman's Club member says that you have 5 different lines of president's team members in your organization. So that means he's actually been working for a long time. We have people like that come to our events. So I know Rhonda invested one time, but if anybody wants to, I know we all have events in our area, but January kickoff is 3 months away. And if you ever want to learn from the best of the best and be around the most amazing health coaches that it's possible, I would say let me invest in getting to an event next year, whether it be April LDW or January kickoff. And it just is going to be an amazing thing, because I really feel like in April we're going to be doing a lot of pin changes, because we have people who have organizations right now who could potentially be active world team, potentially close to global expansion team. And in those sections and in those parts of the marketing plan, you actually get to walk on stage, you get to speak, and you get a little bit more recognition. So I feel like April is going to be one of those months to where we all should somehow be together. I'm giving you guys a whole warning right now. But that's like a little mini recap. And before I go into like the notes of our personal business, for you all who are going to LDWs or any events coming up soon, I took a whole lot from this event. And the one reason I did was because I actually thought, what do I need to hear in order to change my business? We're still a fast growing business, being Global Expansion Team 2,500 in 2 years. But what do I need to learn in order to and be a better leader? Because that's what Leadership Development Weekend is for, how to become a better leader. I know I've had a lot of ups and downs, a whole lot of, distorted relationships and things like that, but it's all a part of learning. So that's why I love going to this event. But before I went, I said, I need to know what I got to do to be a better leader for my organization. And by default, that's what I was listening for. So all the notes that I took were literally things that they were telling me that I could apply to my business. And by doing that, by default, I'm not just showing up to an event, going through the motions just because I know I'm supposed to go to the event just because, somebody told me that that's what you do. I actually went with the intention on learning how to do something specific. And I got exactly what I needed out of it. Like, my brain is about to explode, but that's the point of going to these events. Now, when you are a supervisor and you're looking to grow your check, you only grow your check one way, and that's by building frontline. You frontline people, your check by default grows, and you have to be able to look at how healthy your organization is and if you're actually growing, because some people get confused and think just because they're doing high volume that the organization is actually growing. when it's not. That's why people will stay at active world team and world team forever. They can retail, and retail is absolutely cool, but there's more to it. You know, there's retail, there's recruiting. Those are the two huge points, and some of us aren't recruiting. And what I did was, if anybody ever wants to, you know, write anything down, I'm going to say a few things right now that are cool little tidbits. So I'm looking at our organization, and we have 54 supervisors in 4 levels right now in our entire organization. Now, last year, the average supervisor volume for all my supervisors in all 4 levels, well, it was 3 levels last year, was about 1,700 volume points. That's the average for all the supervisors. And what they told me, a healthy number, and all these things that I'm telling you, you can find them when you go to downline reports, and then you go to your supervisor metrics. It actually gives you the numbers. So our healthy organizational number for your group of supervisors is 1,300 volume points. And anything under 1,200 or less, that means your business is struggling. So if you jot that down and you go look, if you have supervisors, that is, you want to go look at that number. I looked at our number because 1,300 is a healthy business. Now, when I said last year, we were at about 16. So we had an extremely healthy business last year, which is why we hit Global Expansion Team and Global Expansion Team 2.5, almost hit Cuts of Millionaire Team, because we have so many supervisors with volume. Now, when you get more supervisors in your organization, obviously the number probably is skewed and it goes down a little bit. But I wrote down our numbers, and we're currently at 12,096 for supervisors with volume. So that's still relatively healthy. But that's my organization. The thing is, what does your organization look like? Because based on what we were doing and what we're doing now, the business isn't growing. And I'll tell you the one reason why business isn't growing, and this is how you grow your business. This is specifically for you to listen to. I know a lot of people have, they're trying to work on volume themselves right now. But the way you get volume is members. That's the only way you're going to have high volume. And I don't know if anybody noticed, or if you're like a BizWorks hound like me, the Herbalife actually, when you go to my volume, it split it up. It shows you now instead of showing you having your downline volume and your personal purchase volume together, it actually split it up. So it'll let you know how much volume is coming from your members and how much volume is coming from you personally doing things yourself. So they actually have like the downline volume is where you can see what your members are doing. And what I used to tell people and what they told me, a healthy number is for that downline volume to be twice as much as your personal purchase volume. And the reason we want that is because that means you have a whole bunch of members doing volume, and it's not just you. You want to know where your volume is coming from. So what we're not doing is I'll tell you guys where my front line is. I have a total of 6 front line in this year that have hit active supervisor cuts. We have Brittany, Rhonda, Orlando, Will Steele, Adrian Sanchez, and Rachel Anderson, who've all hit active supervisor status this year within the year of 2015. So that means I have a healthy, strong front line. You have to have 5. Think about growing your business. You want to shoot for 5 frontline who are doing active supervisor cuts in order for your check to grow, in order for you to have a healthy business, because you never want your volume to be coming from one line. So I personally, that's why I got my 5-stone pen, is because I have 6 frontline active supervisors within this year. Now, when we look at my frontlines active supervisor list, then that's where we're getting the disconnection. Because for whatever reason, this is what I'm learning. I have to learn how to help my frontline build a frontline. And that's the key. You'll never grow your check. You'll never grow your royalties. You'll never, get paid as much as you could if you do not grow a frontline. And I'm looking at our business, and it's supposed to go like this. This is how the business is supposed to go. It's supposed to get wider as you go to the bottom. But ours is like wide, then it gets like short, and it goes straight down. And that's become essentially the problem. When your business will grow, when you're going to start hitting tab team, is when you build 3 to 5 strong frontline active supervisors. That's why they're so heavily on active supervisors. So We definitely need to, as a front line and as a whatever level you are, to me, you have to focus on getting people in the business, and duplicating what works for you. You have to work on helping somebody get to the status that you're at. And I think the thing that makes people fall out of the business is when they have to work so hard to get volume because they're doing all the work and they don't have members helping them. That's tiring. I'm telling you, I did that for the first like 5 or 6 months of my Herbalife career. I was like, I could do volume. And I was doing a whole lot of it. But the problem that I wasn't doing, I wasn't teaching anybody how to do high volume. I wasn't teaching anybody how to make money. So that's something that I messed up on. And I didn't allow other people to have a vision. I didn't allow other people to see, their potential, because it was all about me worrying about and focusing on my potential and what I wanted to accomplish. And that's something that really hit me today. Was it's not about, the money that you're making, but it's about the money that you're helping other people make. It's about the health results that you're helping other people get. So that in itself is letting you know that how you grow your business is not dependent upon how much volume that you're personally doing, but it's how much can you actually help somebody do. Now, I'm going to skim through my notes here because I have some really good stuff in here. We have President's team member. I'll see them. I forgot how to say his last name, like Meyer or Maha or something like that. It was a Hispanic name. She's from Miami. What he said to me that made the most sense that I've ever really heard in the business was President's team is like getting a degree. And what that means is some of us are willing to go to college for a few years, for 4 years, and this is what we get from college. You don't make any money going through college those 4 years. You don't because you don't really have time to get a job. If you do, your time is completely out of the window. You don't have any free time to actually enjoy college if you have a full-time job. But you're still willing to do that because that's what society has told us that we're supposed to do, go to school for 4 to 5 years. But then when you graduate, you don't graduate and get a big payoff. You graduate and you have to try and find a job. You have to find a job that actually is worth your time. It's actually worth you investing in getting the payback. But you also have, unless you are a scholarship athlete or you get a scholarship, honor society type of person who gets your school and paid for, most of us accrue student loans debt. But we're still willing to do that because that's what we're supposed to do. You learn, of course, you learn some amazing knowledge. But guess what Herbalife is? Herbalife is like 4 to 5 years of schooling as well. But guess what happens? You still get to learn a whole lot because of personal development and the trainings you go to. So then the things I've learned in Herbalife, I honestly can apply it more than the things I learned in school. I have never used MX plus B equals C squared or nothing like that in the real life. I don't go to the store and see, if Timmy eats 10 candy bars, how many I don't like, that's not anything that I ever have to use in real life. But what I do learn is how to actually build a business. I learn how to make money. But guess what happens during those 4 to 5 years in Herbalife? You get to make money every single year. You get paid every single year. And guess what happens when you actually get to the president's team? That's like graduation. But guess what? When you graduate from president's team, you actually get a check for $20,000. There's no debt there. So some people will stress out and have that, I guess, that freshman year that most people have getting adjusted to college and, and different things like that, the different things, the problems that we go through in college. That's just like your Herbalife business. But you didn't quit on, most of us, if you went to college and you graduated, you didn't quit on college no matter how hard it was. But the compensation is so different. Because if you're willing to do Herbalife for 4 years, no matter how hard it is, at the end of the 4 years, guess what kind of life you set yourself up for? You're going to be debt free because you're going to make so much money on the way, and you're going to actually be putting yourself in a position to set yourself up for financial freedom. So if you've ever thought about quitting after a year or 2 years, that doesn't make sense. So for me, when Alcida said that, I was like, man, I never even really looked at it that way. I've always been taught, just like everybody else has been taught, you go to high school, you try to go to college, and you try to find a job. And most people spend 30, 40 years paying back the student loans working a job that was not in their field anyways. And he said what you have to realize is you have to be willing to do the work right now to live the life in the future that people our age are going to wish that they could live. So I have to be willing to do things people my age aren't willing to do. So when I get 35, 40 years old, I don't have to worry about working until I'm 60 for retirement. That's going to be my retirement. I'll probably retire, I mean, I'm already working, my own hours, but I literally will financially be able to retire from anything but before I turn 32 years old. And that's amazing because some people have to work till 60 and then they don't have any kind of retirement fund. A lot of us just get caught up in the moment of living life. We're not doing everything that's actually contributing to success in our life. I've been through, the college scene. I've been through, my younger 20s and done the things that people are at that age are supposed to or are looked at as doing. And it had added no value to my life at all. At the end of the day, it added zero value. I had fun. I had memories, but guess what's better? Being financially free and being able to go make memories with my family and my best friends outside of the country. Go take a vacation and not have to worry about it. Those are the memories I want. I don't want those bar crawl memories I had in college. Passing out drunk or whatever it is. Like, that was fun at the time, but it adds zero value to my life now. And it could, and in fact, set you so many years behind to where you're just playing catch up. So the fact that we have Herbalife and it says, listen, plug in for 4 to 5 years. And I promise you, if you're not at president's team, you'll at least be millionaire team. Is that so bad? Style got on stage and said he worked so hard for 2 years, this is for a year and a half at this time. And once he went from Get Team to Mill Team, Mark and Jill Addy called him in the office and were like, your royalty and your bonus has finally kicked in. And he said he logged onto the computer, and this is why it's so important from Get Team to Mill Team. It's such a lifestyle change. He actually looked on the computer, and he said he logged off and shut the computer down, then rebooted it and logged back in because he didn't believe what he saw. His check had jumped $10,000. He went from making $5,000 a month at Get Team to $15,000 at Mill Team. That's a huge jump. But guess what he can do now? Anything he wants. Because we were talking about, how do you spend $15,000 in a month? You don't. You pay all your bills. That's a couple $100. Let's just say you got a whole bunch of bills and you pay, I don't know, like $2,000 for bills and expenses. And then you go shopping, spend a couple $100 here or there, maybe take the weekend off somewhere. You still got $10,000 left over. And by the time you figure out what you're going to do with that $10,000, the month is about to roll back over. The 15 hit, and all of a sudden you got $15,000 more in your bank account. You're just looking like, man, what is going on? But those are good problems. Those are guaranteed problems if you stay. And if you stay working, and if you stay with a group of people, and everybody has like the same vision, everybody's working towards the same thing, which is essentially just getting people and helping people change their life. The way that they put these things this past weekend, I guess I was just listening from a different space. I wasn't just there to be a body in the room. I was there because I wanted to get better. I'm tired of being, I don't want to sound ungrateful, but I'm tired of being global expansion team. Because I feel like I sacrifice enough. I feel like I work hard enough to where we as a team should all be at different levels, all living a different lifestyle. I feel like Rhonda deserves to be global expansion team. I feel like Orlando and Kylie deserve to be very, very close to global expansion team. I feel like Brittany deserves to be global expansion team. And then everybody else who's working to learn how to stable build their 2,500, I feel like we all deserve to at least, at minimum, be active supervisors. Because guess what happens when you don't get active supervisor? You're leaving money on the table. It rolls up to me, I'll take it, but I would much rather you have everything that you earned and everything that you built and everything that you worked for. That's what they talked about a lot, never leaving money on the table. It's no point. Everybody's going to pay 5% anyways. So you never want to do that. You'll never want to come up, 2,200 volume points, and then, you don't collect your full royalties, and then it just rolls up to somebody else. So that's something that I really wanted to hone in and get everybody to realize the longevity, because it's not long. College flew by. And the same thing's going to happen with 4 years of you doing Herbalife. I ain't going to talk about that. We already talked about that. And I guess the last thing I'll touch on before I make it more of a vision call is goals. And what they actually got me to thinking about is actually writing things down. So I got my goal for, the amount of volume that I want to do for the month of October. And I said 15K. All I did was divide by 4. And I see that I'm supposed to have 3,700 volume points a week, which is 750 volume points a day. Those numbers are smart to look at because you can gauge yourself throughout the month, see where you're at and how close you are to actually achieving your goal. Your volume must be made up of members and clients. And what they mean by that is just don't be buying volume. And when they look at somebody with high volume, they know the business is healthy if you can actually pull out the web and actually show them where your volume is coming from. Not that you're just doing, high volume. And if it's not coming from members and clients, then you know which area that you need to work on. And one thing Alcides kept saying was, what people say, you get a plan, you get a goal. How long do I work a plan? And he says, until you achieve the goal. And the craziest thing is I'm looking at, some of us were in the accountability group until LDW, correct? Not one single person lasted 30 days. And for me, that just says we have an issue maybe sticking to a plan. And I think people just were looking at me to help facilitate with that. But if you're not able to execute a 90-day plan, it's going to be very, very, very hard to actually move up in the business. Because it takes a full month to actually get into a new habit in the first place, which is the hardest time. Then it takes the next 30 days to perfect it. Then the next 30 days and the last 30 days is when you teach it, when you pass on what you've learned. So you have to look at it like that, which is simple enough in its own right. And it says, when do you know that you're a leader? You're a leader when you sign up a downline member. By default, your downline is going to do whatever they see. And what he said was, your downline is going to probably do 5 to 10% of what you tell them because of too much information, an overload of information. But they're probably going to do 90% of what you do, the things that you do, how you're treating people, how you're taking care of your clients. Are you going to events? Are you posting about the events? Are you sharing your notes? Are you, sacrificing, being a good leader, even if you have people who are growing up with attitudes? Because you have to realize when you get downline, it's just like having children. They don't know anything at first. They're doing exactly what they see. Then once they actually get abreast of everything, they hit the teenager stage, is what he called it. He called it the teenager stage. It's when, teenagers turn rebellious and they want to do their own thing, or they turn rebellious and they don't want to listen to you, or they just flat out, they want to let go. Most of us 16 years old, you ready to move out the house, you ready to be on your own, and then you actually do it, and it's like the worst decision you ever made. Like, oh my God, I need to be back home, or I need to do something. It's not enough time. That's exactly how you have to look at Herbalife members when they come in. You maybe have to baby them for a little while until they actually learn how to do things on their own. But as that, member, you have to look at this like, man, listen, my upline or my sideline that's trying to help me, who's in a different pin level, you definitely have to learn to respect the pin, because you're actually trying to get to that level most of the time. So as long as you stay with, the core group of people who are actually successful, it doesn't matter if we have 7 people on this call or 70 people on this call. We're going to be successful regardless, with or without people. The people that choose to come are the people that'll be on stage at extravaganza getting pinned president's team talking about how they changed their family life. Do you all know that the average income for a president's team member who's collecting their royalties and bonuses is $23,000 to $28,000 a month? just by hitting your active supervisor cut and then hitting your 200,000 organizational volume points. You by default will be making just under $30,000 a month. How, does that even make sense? That ain't what they told me in school. They told me go be a lawyer, a firefighter, or a doctor. And I'm a health coach with the potential of actually making more money and changing more lives than any of those jobs entail. So that's something that you have to think about. What's your endurance like? What are you willing to sacrifice, and what are you willing to actually learn over the course of these next, for most of us, these next 3 to 4 years? So, and I thought this was cool. He told a story about Heido, one of his now President's team members, with 3 diamonds. He got this, I don't know, it was kind of weird because he frontlined his wife, which was crazy. But his wife is President's team, and he's President's team, and his brother is President's team. It's weird. That's kind of weird, frontlining your wife. I usually think people like working together. But whatever, 2 President's team checks coming in one house sounds good to me. But he said, this is why you talk to everybody. Because this guy, he overheard him talking at a store about nutrition, and the guy was like, well, I don't have much money, but I need to be in better health. I know this. I've been looking for something that works. He took the guy to his club, paid for his first shake. The guy fell in love with the shake. And then what he didn't know was this guy was literally on the street picking up pennies and quarters in his car looking for loose change. And he would always come in every single day with like maybe $2 and then a whole bunch of change. And he's like, well, would you take this for his daily consumption, which is usually $5? So he had to come up with $5 of change most of the time, because what they come to find out, the guy had no money. Like, the guy literally was not making much money at all for anything extra. But this is what becoming a good coach is. You treat everybody the same, no matter what. You treat everybody the same, whether they don't like you, whether you don't trust them that they're going to be good, or you kind of have a negative notion before you talk to them. Treat everybody the same. I swear, last night I was at the gas station. I feel like God was testing me, because this homeless guy, he was obviously homeless, walked up to me while I was getting gas. And usually I would have an attitude, or I wouldn't talk to him. You know, I'm like, man, this is another homeless guy begging for a change. He not one time asked me for money. He was like, I just want somebody to talk to. And then he asked, because he saw my car, he's like, what's Herbalife? So usually, I'm telling you, the mindset is so crazy. I wouldn't have said nothing. I would have ignored him, went to cut my gas off, and left, because he's homeless. What can he offer me, right? But he asked and said, you know what, I need to get in shape. I'm working on my Social Security. Mind you, dirty hands, teeth missing on the side. You know, he wasn't doing too well. But he's like, well, do you have a business card? Because when I get on my feet, you know, I kind of want to get in shape and whatever. And I'm like, in my mind, the only reason I talked to him is because I heard that story from Alcides. And I'm like, you never really know what this person can be. He may never, ever contact me, ever. But I'm treating him just like I would treat somebody who says that they want to change their life. And I can tell this person looks like they might be able to change their life. I treated him exactly the same. Who knows? In 6 months, this guy may have his stuff together, and he may have that business card. He may hit me up and say, oh, you remember me, da-da-da-da-da. I'm ready. And he can mess around and be a diamond like a Garen Jones. So why would I not treat him just like anybody else? And the guy, Alcides, you know, had talked about his downline. His wife ended up falling in love with the products. The guy signed up his wife. Their brother, who was the biggest hater in Herbalife, he just was like, you guys are stupid for doing this. 6 months later, he's signed up, and now he's a President's team member as well. So you never pass up on anybody. I don't know if people know, but Super Mario thought I was not going to be good at this business. He thought Rob Easterling was going to be the superstar client because he lost so much weight his first month, and he thought he was going to be the best, you know, one of his top members. This is where assuming the 4 agreements, never make an assumption. Because, pow, I become his fastest growing global expansion team member. And pow, I have one of the healthiest organizations that's been consistent in his entire business. And pow, I'll probably be his first President's team member. So you have to look at these things. He still treated me the same. He still treated me as if, even though he didn't believe that I was going to be good, he still treated me the same. And all I did was show up time after time. So, I mean, that's just a notion to say never give up on anybody. And the last thing I want to talk about is contribution. And I'll close my notes so I don't keep looking at stuff because I want to talk about stuff forever. It was just an extremely motivating weekend. But contribution. And when we say contribution, for the last 2.5 years, that's the consistent thing that I've heard. Go to events and contribute. Those are, I think, were the two things that I have heard the most. And we all know that the importance of events. Now, I will say that Mary Holloway said this. It's not about the number of people that you sign up. It's about the number of people that you can get to the events. That's what distinguishes a good business from an okay business. Not I can sign up 10 people, but can I get 10 people to go to a HOM, a weekly HOM, or the minimum the STS? That is the sign of a great growing business. Not that HMP number, but the HMPs that show up. So for me, I guess that means that is just that much more work that I have to do. That's something that I need to work on is getting new people to the events, no matter what. But contribution, the biggest part about contribution, and I'll tell you guys why. Maybe a testament to my success. I've never missed the STS. I missed one. I'm sorry, I did miss one. But I was like really on the couch. I was like dog sick. I couldn't even get out the couch. But that's that's the one event I've missed in 2.5 years. I never missed, no matter what was going on. You guys saw me this weekend. I was so ready to cash in after the first day. It was way too much for me. I've been, in my car for 6 hours traveling back and forth to LDW all 3 days. But you know what? It was like not a no-brainer for me. I told myself every night I laid in the bed, I'm not going tomorrow. And when I woke up, I didn't even think about what I said last night. I just know I'm supposed to do that. And I know that I have it's a bigger purpose. I can't tell y'all not to miss events if I'm missing because I'm tired. So, contribution to the events though, not just going, but once you start going and once you're actually, in the business for a little while, it's about what value are you bringing to the event. And when they say that, they mean, are you a part of the production team? Are you telling your story on stage every time they ask? Are you telling your income story on stage? Do you have people that are, crossing the stage? Are you asking what you can do to contribute to the event? Mary Holloway's Chairman's Club, and she said she was sweeping the floors when she was like a supervisor and a world team member, just to be in contribution. Because guess what? You're going to want people to do that. Say you want to grow and have a nutrition club and you have members. Guess what they're going to do? The contribution that they saw you doing when they were coming up. If you didn't do any contribution, you're going to struggle. Nobody's going to want to do anything. Nobody's going to think it's their responsibility to do anything. So that you have to think about, how am I contributing on the calls when I get on a call, when I have a chance to get on a call? Am I contributing or am I just taking away from the event? It's a give and take. So it's about what you're contributing and what you're getting out of it. Most of us are just getting something out of it, but we're not giving our value back. This is a good sign of somebody who's in contribution. If you don't need any motivation and you don't need any help, and if your business is doing fine, the event needs you, because there's somebody there that needs your story. There's somebody there that needs your inspiration. But when you're down on your luck and you're having a difficult time with the business and you want to get back into it, or just spark an interest in your business, you need the event now. And the people who are there who are doing fine, they're going to be the ones that inspire you. So no matter what, your contribution to the event is what value are you adding, or what value are you taking away? So think about these things. Are you speaking on calls, or when they ask if anybody has questions, even if you don't got a question, are you still saying, I appreciated this, or I like this section? Like Garen's call when he asks, it's the same people who are always saying something, but guess what? They know to be of contribution. They know to make the call better, that somebody has to say something. So whether they say something or not, whether they have something to say, they'll make something up that somebody needs to hear that they already know. So what kind of contribution are you being to your local events and in your, what kind of service are you being to your downline? That is the biggest thing for me. What kind of service am I being to my downline? What am I teaching them? Am I inspiring them or am I driving them away? And it's like, am I doing personal development every day? Yeah, I stopped for a long time. You know, and my excuse was my babies wake up at different times. They wake up at 4 o'clock. They wake up at 6 o'clock. 8 o'clock when my day is getting ready to go, I'm already out the door headed to the gym. But guess what I'm going to do? I have to find time for personal development. So no matter what, this is my thing to work on. This is what I want to get better at, becoming a better leader. If face-to-face is something that you need to get better at, then you know that's what you need to practice. If being a better upline is what you need to work at, you know, then you know what you got to fix on a daily basis. If being a better downline, if being a better sideline, if being a better friend, you know, brother, sister, whatever it is, but you have to be willing to pinpoint what's holding you back and decide that that's what you want to work on. I'm telling y'all, it's people in my business who are no longer show up on calls. They no longer are even in the Urban Avengers group. They took themselves out, who I still reach out to. Even if we ever had an argument or anything. Like, you guys never see Will Steele. You guys never see Devontae Drake, the two people in Atlanta. You never see Sean Stanley. But guess what they're still doing? They're still being productive. Why? I'm still reaching out to them. Me and Sean had many debates. But he's still doing volume, and I'll still reach out to him. I'll always ask him, no matter what. If you need anything, I'm here for you. That's the point of being a great leader. Will Steele and Devontae, you've seen them now on top volume for the last couple of months. You know, they run their own gym, and I don't even bother them. I'm like, you guys are doing your own thing. Just make sure that you know that you can always utilize Herbalife. You know, Devontae's had like 500 volume points already the first day. Last month did 1,500. That's okay with me because they don't really want to do the business like that. So that's fine. But I'm never writing anybody off. I'm never saying I don't have time for people. I'm never saying, you know, that I never let my personal issues and how I feel about somebody get in the way. Lord knows that Irwin has pushed me to the end of this earth. But I still treat him the same. Even when he decides to come back in our group and says, hey, fam, I missed everybody. Nothing just going to change. I'm not going to scold him for leaving. I'm not going to scold him for not participating. I'm going to get right back on pace trying to help him get the actual supervisor because that's the bigger picture. So, with that being said, with that information being said, I can go all night because Lord knows, like, my whole mentality has changed. As an organization, I feel like we all need to challenge each other to do better. I think we need to stop settling and accepting 2,500 volume points. Because if you want to change your life, 2,500 volume points is a minimum. A minimum is an average. And in order to live an extraordinary life, you have to be willing to do the extra. You can't leave out the word in extraordinary and just do the ordinary and live an ordinary lifestyle. But you say you want to live an extraordinary lifestyle. You say you want financial freedom. You say you want to be able to do this and that and the third. That requires the extra. Don't forget that word. So my thing is there anybody out there that now has something in mind that they want to work on and get better at, and they can say, you know, that's what my focus and my goal is for these next 90 days?
We got something.
Oh, it's three people. Y'all, three people unmuted yourself at the same time. It's on you, Orlando.
Yeah, our focus is basically just to incorporate more personal face-to-face and sharing the business opportunity. We've been doing it off and on, but not consistently, or not super consistent. So in these 90 days, we're looking to, you know, build like an HOM, like a mini HOM after our shake parties, just to incorporate the welcoming and the conversation of the business side of Herbalife. That's what our 90-day plan is.
That's what you need. That's exactly what anybody who's looking to grow a business need. Because let me reach out real quick. Because like they said, you have to have a container for your people to grow. If you don't have a container for your people to grow, they're just doing the business. If you don't have, like you all don't have a close STS, you guys need to minimum have a HOM. And how you want to do the HOM is simple. If you ever need help putting together an itinerary for that HOM, we have HOMs all the time. So I can help you and let you know what you need to do. But if there's no opportunity meeting, then how is somebody going to know the opportunity? If there's no, nothing for people to come see that it's more than just you. Like if they come and they see you and then Ryan's there with a couple of his members and then, Kylie's there or maybe she'll come in town or whatever it is. If you have a room full of people and you all go up there and say, hey, this is my weight loss or weight gain result and this is how much money I made last month. You have to show people the opportunity. If not, then it's just like, it's a revolving door. So that's a great goal in that, you got to do like as soon as you can. So I think either Rhonda or Ryan, whichever one you want to go, which one you got the faster flick of the wrist? Rhonda.
For me, I think it's going to be getting back to the lifestyle post. It was something that I noticed with the help of Time Hop that at the time when I was traveling in California and I was doing the lifestyle post, that was attracting more people to the business. And I think that I got so caught up with the fitness that some people don't understand that the opportunity is there for the business. So for the next 90 days for me, I'm going to focus on displaying the lifestyle, whether it's $10, whether it's $100, whether it's just being free during the day. Some people are looking for that, and that's the opportunity I want to present to people outside of just fitness.
Man, I'm so glad you said that. I almost forgot to talk about that. There's so much stuff in my mind, but that's what who was it? I think it was Alcides again. He was really awesome, by the way, because you keep on hearing I keep mentioning his name. But he said so many people in the last 4 years have gotten caught up with fitness. Herbalife is not fitness. And it's something that we have to remember. The healthy, active lifestyle helps out the nutrition. But some people, most people who are going to be your dedicated clients are people who aren't really into fitness or they don't really know much about it. Take it, for instance, people who go to the gym regularly, it's hard to tell them anything because they think they already know. So they're going to be the hardest clients. The clients who are really going to lean upon you are going to be the ones who don't work out. They're going to be the ones who say they don't have time to work out, but they want to eat healthier. We know 80-20. We much rather have the 80 than the 20. Some people are running fit camps with no shakes. So there's no part of the business being done. People are providing a service for free, and Herbalife has nothing to do with it. What kind of sense does that make, Because a fit camp is cool, right? Okay, you're building a free workout. You're not getting paid at all. That's not the objective of Herbalife, never has been. And he said people got attached to that when the healthy, active lifestyle and fit camps came about a few years ago. So I think that's awesome. I think it's awesome to post lifestyle posts because this weekend, I don't know if anybody has seen a couple of posts that I've made about me and, my time with my children this past weekend and having to balance the event. I've had so many people come up to me after the LDW today and they were like, yo, I did not know what you do on a daily basis. I did not know you weren't from California. I did not know what you go through event to event because it's literally like that every event. It's like Russian roulette finding a babysitter for twin infants. So for me making that post, a lot more people will say, hey, it actually is possible. Hey, I actually see that I have to step it up. And whatever the case may be, even if you guys know who Dula is and Ariana, who just got married and they're about to have kids out in San Diego, they're about to have a baby next year. He's like, man, we were tripping because we had to drive back and forth from San Diego an hour and a half. But then we saw your post and we realized that's what it takes. And he was like, we're going to just continue doing it. We were complaining, and I showed, Ariana the post. And they were just like, I guess that's what it takes. And I think that's what Rhonda heard this before. Mary says, it's not a sacrifice. It's just a better decision. And we just need to make better decisions. So that's awesome. Ryan, your turn. You done unmuted twice. You just got to work on that flick of the wrist, man.
Hey, what up, y'all? All right. My biggest thing right now I'm gonna work on is building relationships, better relationships with my clients. And I did talk to Kylie in Orlando. I'm gonna do a client accountability chat, kind of like what they're doing, and I want to start pushing the HMOs a little more. I got to work on what and how I say it, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been doing it, but it's not really I'm not too successful with it. So maybe I don't know. I got to work on building my relationships and maybe my presentation of the business aspect of it. I've talked about the amount of money I've made and what it can do for you if you put in the work. It's just I haven't really got a lot of people that were interested in becoming a member and going further with it from there. So that's something I'm gonna work on and talk to Owen and Kylie about. And if you have any feedback for me, I'm more than happy to listen.
I'm about to tell y'all what y'all need to do right now. What y'all do with it is what y'all do with it. If you're in the same organization and you live close to each other, there's no reason not to have the same HOM. There's no reason why you have separate events. There's no reason why you don't work together. There's strength in numbers, and the more stories that you can get in one setting, by default, people are going to see a bigger picture that they can relate to. What happens is you have somebody like Orlando and Kylie who's been around a little bit longer. They can maybe tell their story a little bit different, and they can actually put on the HOM, and guess what? You get to see how it's ran, and you can be contribution, because what we do is we go out there and we tell our weight loss story. We have like 6 people who tell their weight loss story and how much money they made a month. You have you 3 and whoever else, is around you, maybe even Abel. You guys line up the stories and tell how much money you made, and by default, people are able to see it. It's not just you that's making that money. That's the thing. I have a president's team picture that I'm going to put together and post tomorrow. And I'm going to say it's just going to be a post talking about how most people in corporate America, there's only like 1 or 2 CEOs, 1 CFO of the company who are making this amount of money. And your chance coming in at the bottom is sheer, none at ever getting to that CFO level, that CEO level. But the day you sign up in Herbalife, you give yourself a chance to make it to that CEO level. And there was about 50 president's team members on stage who all make this money that I'm talking to you all about. And that's just in Southern California. So it's not just like it's 1 or 2 people making this money. It's all of these people who are making this income. All of these people have crazy stories. But everybody started off as a member with 25%. So that's what that's the only thing that I'll tell you guys. That's going to change your entire business. Whenever, you guys decide to actually do this is when you guys actually decide to actually do it. And that's the day that your business, I promise you that's a month, your business will change. Because guess what? When you go out and do your face-to-face, you got something to invite people to. Well, if we'll be sampling some products at our HOM this Saturday or this Wednesday or whatever it is. And, you can just come through and get a free shake, or you can just come through and hear about the opportunity. And that's how you get members. You'll literally get like 3 or 4 members a month if you have clients. Your clients got to show up and all that. So that's my answer. And I've been waiting and checking my watch to see a consistent HOM out there in Green Bay. It ain't told me that there's one yet. So I'll check in and I keep checking back. We'll see when they decide to do that. All it takes is a commitment and actually doing it. You're not going to have 50 people at your first one. That's just what it is. Alcida said he started I guess it's like a focus group or something. He had 2 people for months, and now he has 80. So I think it works if you do things for a long period of time. So we have in the last few minutes. Does anybody else have anything they want to share?
This is Kylie.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. I think the biggest thing for me is just finding what else I can do. I mean, I talked to Orlando and Kylie as well. I'm doing client groups, and like Rhonda said, is reaching to a different group of people. The last few people that I have talked to and are interested are that group that it's just about fitness. They don't work out. They don't do any of the fitness lifestyle, and so they're just trying to lose weight with healthy nutrition instead. So I think that's one of my biggest things, and then just reaching out to my clients more and showing them what my day is like with the client chats, and telling them like how easy it is. And there are days when it's hard, and you're gonna, like today I had a baptism and all it was cakes and cupcakes, and just having the power to say no, and that it happens, you're not going to get away from it, and just having that support there and finding your reason why again. So that's my big thing in the next few months here.
That's awesome. And I think with the client groups, I heard stories about it myself. And I think, I have, for whatever reason, like the clients that don't have Facebook, but I'm going to start making people get Facebook, whatever. You sign up for Facebook, quit playing. It's not a game. So have them sign up for Facebook, and that way I can do, a client chat. I think a client chat would be better than a page, because people can ignore a group post. But I think if you actually see your thing going off, and, you may get annoyed, but I'll tell people from the beginning, after a while, that may inspire somebody like, man, I was going to skip on my shake this morning, but everybody done posted their shake, so I got to post mine too. And that way you can actually see who's serious about things. So that's awesome. Anybody else or anything that they would like to share that they want to work on for the next 90 days?
Me.
Hey.
Well, when you guys were talking sacrifice, that just really stuck out to me, which is, I guess, better decision, is my time, sacrificing my time, and basically get into the gym and make sure I reach out to people and promoting and personal development. That will for sure help me out, and just basically finding time for the business. Because as of right now, I'm posting here and there, and so yeah.
Glad you said that. Y'all just keep reminding me of stuff. Today, Mary Holloway gave us this list. Man, that's super bright. She gave us this, and what it is basically a list that says my week of October 4th to the 15th, which is the week coming up. It has Sunday through Saturday. It has 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. And what it had me do was fill out the times that I have events that I can't move, like immovable events. Like we have fit camps Tuesdays and Thursdays. I can't move those. Supervisor calls and Garen's calls, I can't move those. This call and our Wednesday call, I can't move those. And after you wrote down all the immovable things that you have, look at the time. You look at all that time I got in the morning. I ain't got nothing to do in the morning. So but also I'm utilizing that time to, get out and with my girls and go talk with people. Usually my nights after 5 p.m., I have it locked down. I can't really do anything. But by doing this, I actually can see what can I switch around. And Mary Holloway, she's hella corny. She tries to make jokes about things or whatever, but I got the point of everything. And she was talking about how she doesn't like watching TV if it has anything to do about successful people. The reason being is because she wants to create that for herself rather than watch somebody else create it for themselves. And it's been times, and I'll tell you guys, it's been times that I didn't go to the gym. I personally feel like, if I'm a bodybuilder, yes, I have to go 6 times a week. But if I'm not, and if I'm just looking to be healthy, 3 to 4 times a week is cool if I have to sacrifice a day to be in action. That's what's important. And she also said, pick 3 methods of operation, but posting on Instagram and Facebook don't count. And branding on your car doesn't count. Your button, those things don't count because it doesn't involve you actually talking to somebody. It just is like a post is just talking to the same people. driving your car, you're not talking to anybody, wearing your button is just an attraction method. Use where talk is, what we do anyways. But are you doing HOMs? Are you going out and doing face-to-face? She said they used to hand out 1,000 flyers a week, whether it's 600 one day, 400 one day, 100, whatever it is. But you got to have an event to invite people to if you're going to hand out flyers. So that's what she said that she did. You pick 3 things to rely on, 3 different methods, and that posting, some people will rely on posting. And I tell you all the time, if you post, look at the people who's liking it. It's probably 95% of people who are already in the business. So who are you talking to, really? If you got like 400 followers on Instagram and you post a picture about Herbalife and you got like 12 likes and you look at who liked your picture and it's like everybody's in the business, you literally did nothing with that post. It was literally a wash. So you have to think about the things you're going to do outside. You have to be willing to get uncomfortable. If you stay where you are and you stay doing the same things that you're doing, you're going to guarantee you're looking at your future every day. That's what your future is going to be like. Because that's what you're willing to do every day. Everybody on this call, October, we don't do under 2,500 volume points. And that's my fault. I feel like I'm not as adamant about that. But when I first came into the business, I didn't know to do 2,500 volume points. All I knew is get the supervisor. That's what they told me. And you want to set yourself a standard by doing 45,000 volume points every month. Like I told y'all, I did 4,600 volume points my first month of the business. And for the first year and a half, I never did under 7,500. I always had VIP for 15 months. For the Herbalife vacation last year, Brittany qualified active world team toward the beginning of the year, and I qualified for the vacation in 6 months. So I qualified with a star. It took me 6 months to qualify for the vacation. I was not going. I was not going to Hawaii, and I don't care how far off I am from the one next year in Mexico at the Hard Rock. I'm going. Why would I not go? All it is work. They're giving us double volume again, twice this year, again. Why would I not go? It's a free vacation. Literally, they pay for your flight. And once you get there, this one is all inclusive. So you don't pay for anything. Nothing. But I think a lot of us rule out the fact that we can qualify for promotions. A lot of us, when we talk about qualifying for things, like 3 people who are jacked up about it, and then everybody else is like, that's when they're quiet. Well, why would you not give out what Herbalife is giving you for free just to show up and do what you're already supposed to do? What is your mindset when you start the month? Am I just going to make this declaration because I feel like that's what they want me to do? Or do I really feel like I can do this? Do I really feel like I can do 5K? And to be truthful, if you're serious about the business, your declaration don't need to be anything under 5K. Because when you get to global strategy, you will, if you're not in a habit of doing 5K, guess what? How much money you're going to be making? Or leave it on the table. Minimum $1,000. Oh, when I did that, I was sick to my stomach. I missed out on $1,700. Oh, it's no point. But we have to create that culture. If you ever did under 2,500 volume points, it should make you sick to your stomach. I can't even tell y'all, after 2.5 weeks, if I ain't at 2,500 volume points, my brain is about to explode. Because I know I ain't working as hard as I'm supposed to. So we all have to hold each other accountable for setting a better standard. Because guess what our people who are coming in are seeing? They're seeing their sponsor not doing what they're telling them they need to do. Or you can't even tell them as a sponsor because you ain't doing it. So you feel foolish by telling them to do it. If you bring somebody in the business and you don't, and you only have like 1 or 2 members, you're not going to events, you're not doing high volume, what are your people going to do? They're going to do the same. So if you're in a period right now to where you haven't did full royalties in a long time, but you're signing up members, you're bringing people into a bad environment. Because my sponsor only did, 800 volume points, or my sponsor only did 1,500. That's what they know. Because when I was doing high volume, this is when I'm committed to getting back to high volume, no matter what it takes. No matter what it takes. Because when I came in, Rhonda, Brittany, Orlando, Adrian, all then, you know, they saw me top volume on Garen's list. 15,000 volume points, 11,000 volume points, 7,500 on a bad month. That's what they saw. And guess what? Brittany did 10K for a minute. Orlando did 10K. Rhonda was knocking out 5K like it wasn't nothing. And I almost blame myself because when I retract, no matter what my situation is, when I decided to retract and not do those numbers, everybody else's numbers started to fall. People started to fall out of the business left and right. I'm like, what is going on? But then I look at myself like, you know what? It's me. I'm not leading from the front like I used to. So I have to do that. I have to take responsibility on myself. I have a 5-stone pen. You know what position the 5-stone pen is associated with? Millionaires team. Guess what amount of volume we did last month? 4,100 as an organization. That's barely halfway to mill team. The percentage of supervisors with volume is at 21% as we stand right now in October, 5 days in almost. The percentage of supervisors with volume is 5%. Or I'm sorry, 21%. Last year, we never dropped under 56%. So these are numbers that we have to get back to, but it has to start with myself. Just like you have to tell if you want your organization to be back. Well, I mean, nobody likes not making as much money as they know they can because they did it once before. I'm sure Rhonda want that, you know, that 5K check again. You know, but we have to be willing to change ourselves and get back to what we were doing, but at a higher standard. So I almost forgot who asked the question because it just, but Mariah, you know what you have to do. And, you know, it's more so what Alcida kept saying was when you ask somebody a question and they say, I'm on it or I'm going to do it, you should take it with a grain of sand and you should always say time will tell. Time will tell who's willing to work and do the things that they put out there and said they're going to do. So that's that. I don't want to cut anybody short. So I don't know if anybody else had anything that they wanted to share with us.
I think what I want to do in the next 90 days is really focus on consistency with my business, with myself, and staying focused and really getting a good relationship with my clients and getting back in that routine.
That's awesome. So now what we can do as a team, for everybody who knows what her goals are and everybody else's who we heard, we can help hold each other accountable. And that doesn't mean ever like bashing anybody, but we should all be celebrating each other for the things that we accomplish. And we should all be willing to help each other. If you see somebody slip, ask them if they need any help. Ask them if they need, you know, relationships will keep you in this business. If y'all don't know, you know, Brittany I thought she was going to pass me. I mean, it was the everything was so popping. But guess what? We all need each other. Who knows? She may have needed one of our help, you know, some help from somebody, or just a relationship, or just whoever who knows what it could have been. Who knows what any of you all need right now if we don't reach out and just talk to each other, which is what the royalty chat is for. I know it gets kind of crazy sometimes with Orlando and his stick emojis and the booty popping and stuff. It's funny, but the purpose of that group is so we can grow relationships with each other, so we can all see. It was at a point to where we were all talking about what we were doing with our clients, the successes that we were having, screenshots left and right. That don't happen anymore. So that's something that we definitely have to work on and get Brittany back to, you know, Global Expansion Team, because that's where she rightfully should be. She was right there. She was doing 10 and 20 months. You know, so we got to help her as a team get back to where we already know she could be because she's done it. Same thing with Rhonda. We all got to help Rhonda get back to where Rhonda hit supervisor in like 2 or 3 months. with a supervisor. So we know what she's capable of. We got to help her get back there. And by default, guess what happens to us? We become better leaders, and our people see us doing that. So that's what we have to work on. I think, DeAndre, you're the only one left, player.
What up, everybody?
What up?
For the next few months, my main focus, man, is to get more face-to-face. That's what I got to work on, getting more face-to-face interaction. You know, I do my posts, do my email and stuff like that, but that face-to-face interaction, man, I think is much more powerful. As a matter of fact, that makes me think about, I think the guy's name is Corwin or something like that.
Yep,
the guy did over 100 doggone 3-day trials.
Mm-hmm.
Like, man, that's doing it. You just got to want it. And I just got to dig in and ask myself, how bad do I want it? You know, and get out there and do it. 100 3-day trials, that's talking to a lot of people. You know, and if I can get out there and just talk to half of the people, you know, that's just going to give me that much more confidence, and the business is going to grow that much more. So that's my main focus, get out there and talking to more people, you know, at every opportunity.
Yeah, if you all don't know the story of what Corwin did last month, he played a game with himself, I guess. When he goes out, he'll say, you know, he'll look at somebody or maybe catch somebody's attention. And the good thing about it is he won't talk to them about the products first. He won't talk to them about the business. He'll approach them, ask them how they're doing. And if they're in a section of the store, he's like, you know, he'll make up something. Maybe he's looking for something in a section, and you know, they'll help him out, or they'll say something. And that's all he needs was an in, you know, for a little 2-minute conversation to ask them how their day is going. And most people this day and age, are sad to say, but they're going to say, oh, I'm tired, or I'm stressed, or I'm looking to be in and out. And that's your in. Oh, why are you so tired? Whatever it is, but you got to play a game with it. You got to make it to where you're like, you're not just saying the same thing to people. Go compliment somebody on their shoes. Go compliment somebody on the shape that they're in, even if they ain't in good shape. That's what Soup did to me and Rob. He said, oh, y'all huge. What y'all play? I've seen Soup do it all the time. I've seen Soup, I'm going to tell y'all, on Friday, he was in the gym. This dude walks up to a girl and says, when are you going to come back? And she's like, come back? Come back to where? He said, didn't you come to fit camp on Tuesday or like a month ago? And she's like, what? And then he's like, oh, isn't your name Michelle? Making stuff up. Isn't your name Michelle? She's like, no, my name is Desiree. And then he's like, oh, okay. Well, we do have this fit camp on Tuesdays, Thursdays if you want to come. And she came. 3-day trial client, like that. And she was like, you were lying when you said, he's like, yeah, but all I want to do is talk to you about coming down to our workout. So he played a game. That's how he got me. Played a game, told me I was swole, knowing I wasn't. But it stopped me and we had a conversation. I mean, it's just a thought. Cora said he's doing 203-day trials this month. You got to believe him after what he just did. His problem is turning the 3-day trials into clients. That was just his problem. He's not really business savvy, but he'll get that 3-day trial. Guess what he gets for getting off 100 3-day trials? 1,500 volume points without having any full retail clients. $1,000 extra in his pocket. You know, whatever. You know, it's little things like that. You know, I mean, I think that's kind of cool. But I'm glad everybody has goals. I'm glad everybody has vision. We need to make sure that we're doing it together, making sure that we're making better decisions, making sure that we have a goal. And I implore you all to write down your volume point goal that you had, and just like I said, look at what you got to be doing on a weekly basis, and it'll be able to give you a visual tracker of how you're actually matching up to your goals. I think that I don't know. I can go for hours based upon where my mental is right now, but we're gonna stop it right there because we're just over an hour. And let me just stop the recording because Rachel gonna trip out.